YouTube, welcome back. In case you are unaware of what has happened now in patch 0.9.2, the person who runs Last Epoch Tools made a nice little nice little Reddit post for us. So Dammit, same person who does the Grim Dawn tools, has updated Last Epoch build planner. You are now able to import your characters from online into a build planner. So previously that was only an offline thing, but now you can do that with your online characters as well, which is excellent. So we can once again do these build reviews. We can get feedback for people who are looking for more damage on their builds and hopefully say something intelligent and help them. So we've got our first of those in front of us right here. And the person in chat who wanted some feedback on this character was saying, how do I get more damage? They said it was hard for me to scale my damage. Is there a way for me to get more flat damage? What am I missing? So we're going to chat about this real quick. If you are a Lich gamer, there's going to be a lot of things that stand out to you. We're going to give the most actionable feedback. We'll give things that are like you can do right now, things that you can swap out, talk about the ideas of how you can get more damage while you are playing a necrotic damage Lich. There's a crit build as well, and you're going to see something very obvious right here if you take a little glance at Reno. But the fine details of like exactly how do you do this thing, we're not going to worry about that because we want this person to get back in the game, keep blasting, make those broad stroke upgrades, and then they can tweak the finer details as they see fit. So this is it's been described to me as a homebrew, Hungering Souls, crit, necrotic damage Lich. They have arenas. They have accurately ascertained that Marinas is a super strong item. So this is great. There's two reasons why it's great. First of all, it's got flat spell damage and cast speed and spell damage and holy shit, it's so strong. But also, it puts dam on you. So I think the most important thing for us to talk about, this person wants to know, how do I get more damage in my build? And there is a linchpin of the Lich mastery that is very noticeably absent from this build. So first things first, we have our 5 things to respect. We've got our main skill, we've got Bone Curse, we've got Reaper Form. I'm on board so far. We also have our Volatile Zombie, which is like a little bit suspect, but you kind of understand what's going on. Volatile Zombie is giving you, like as they explode, they give you the Skeleton Vanguards, and you have a maximum of 3 Vanguards, and it helps you deal more damage against bosses, because you have this node here. It's kind of annoying, but it works. So that's why this is here. We also have Wandering Spirits. Wandering Spirits is applying Shred for us. It also deals some damage, I guess. It fears enemies, which is fine. It's good. Fear is really good for leveling. But fearing enemy is like not that good. Enemies can only be affected by fear once. It's like okay. It gives you some mana back too, but I don't think this is something that we really need in our build. And what I said is that there's one thing that's missing. In every Lich build that I've ever played, and most Lich builds that most Lich players have ever played, have 2 skill specs. They have both Reperform specs and Death Seal specs. Sometimes you can unspec your Reperform. Sometimes, if you're absolutely out of your mind, you can play a human form Lich. Mao. But for us, we are going to have both Reperform spec, because it gives excellent quality of life, cast speed, attack speed, damage, crit multi, flat damage, a lot of good stuff. And we're going to use Death Seal as well. So just for the time being, I'm going to unspec out of Wandering Spirits. We are now missing Necrotic Shred. So I'm going to come down to the Necrotic Shred Blessing from Spirits of Fire and recommend that we get the Necrotic Shred from our Spirits of Fire Grand Blessing and Empowered Monoliths. Then for our skill, Death Seal is spooky if you're oh my god, Mao's in chat, that's so funny. If you're a brand new Lich player, you will realize that Death Seal is scary to use. It puts you at low health. So you're a Lich form, you have like your 2 health bar going on, but then instead of having a full Lich health bar, you're going to go shoop all the way down because you are going to be speccing it like this for Deadlock. If your health is above 33%, you lock it down to 33%. So what do you gain for putting yourself at low health like that? Well, you gain percent increased damage per missing health. This is, per percent missing health. So building flat HP doesn't do anything for this, per percent missing health. You also get flat armor and stun avoidance per flat missing health, which incentivizes us to actually build health, 2,000, 3,000, 3,500 flat health. And then from the skill itself, if you can read these paragraphs of text, it also gives you more damage per health that you are missing. Per percentage health that you are missing. So we're going to get more damage, increased damage, flat armor, which will scale with percent armor if we can, stun avoidance, and then we're probably going to have something like this to have a little proc of damage that goes around us. One important thing to say about Death Seal here, I guess there's actually two important things because we're even playing Hungering Souls over here. Two important things to call out. We're using a Marinera's Lost Pasta, and this thing gives us a stack of Dam when you cast a spell. And you're a spellcaster, you're casting spells very, very often, and you probably have a bunch of cast speed because you have Reperform, you have cast speed here. In our Death Seal, we can put 1 point here into Doom Call, and it says does not scale with points allocated, death wave damage per stack of Doom on you. So your death wave damage, which is this death wave over on the left side here, this will have more, it'll have a more damage multiplier on it equal to the number of stacks that you have. So if you have 10 stacks on you, it's going to have 100% more damage. This is a great source of ambient damage that you just get to scale because you're using this combination of items and skills. The other thing that you ought to know about here, first of all, duration, but 3 out of 3 for duration. And this node is nerfed. It is not as good as it used to be. But I still think it's probably worth using. It's just doubling down on your Hungering Souls that you're already spec'd into. It already has all these more multipliers on it. And you just grab this so you can have even more Hungering Souls proccing off your Death Seal. So Death Seal takes some getting used to. It's scary at first. What you should know is it actually gives you better effective HP against everything except for literal one-shots. So to use this, like we want a bunch of Leech, and you're going to have a bunch of Leech from your Mastery. Let's take a look at your Mastery real quick. You have the Leech stuff here and the Leech stuff here. So that's great. You already have enough Leech. And then we also want a little bit of Endurance to go along with that. We currently have 28% Endurance. It is very important for a Death Seal Lich to have this Endurance number up to 60%. So doing something like this, maybe instead of having 116 cold res, maybe we could drop cold res somewhere. Maybe get some endurance, perhaps. Let's go like this. So like one or two endurance rolls, and we'll get this endurance percent number up to 60, and that will help you feel very tanky while you have your Death Seal active. Cool. So that's the first thing to talk about. Our health total at level 87 is a little bit low. There's like easy stuff to do for that. This is still like the health meta. You're not building ward. Death Seal turns off all of the ward, and it gives you a ton of damage and quality of life. And a really fun play style as well. It's very enjoyable. So to augment that, glove, belt, boots, we're going to put hybrid health on all three of those. You have hybrid health on the boots. Great. Let's get some hybrid health on the gloves. Get hybrid health on this thing as well. If your belt had hybrid health and cooldown recovery speed, I think that'd be fine. I tend to do hybrid health and percent health on my belt. Similar thing for our helmet. You have percent health here, which is great. And then our chest piece, I actually see this very often with brand new players, and I don't know how new this particular person is, but I see brand new players being like, wow, you can get 60 void res on a chest piece, on a suffix. That's so good. It's so much void res. It is, but you'd rather get that in other places. You'd rather your body armor suffixes be something defensive. You could put percent armor if you wanted to, but the most normal thing to do for your body armor suffixes is just flat health and percent health. If you want to go vitality, vitality's been nerfed a little bit, but vitality is still a good prefix here. It's kind of funny. Vitality used to give 10 flat health per point. Now it only gives 6 flat health per point, but it also gives poison and necrotic resistance, which is oftentimes helpful. For you, it's not as helpful because those are the two resistances that you have access to in your base mastery here. I will recommend that we pick up vitality. Like, I think vitality is better than damage. In the past, I would have said absolutely, but because of this nerf and because we already have necrotic and poison res, I would almost be interested in flat armor instead of the 6% increased damage, because I'm somebody who just likes to have as much armor as possible. So maybe moving those damage points over to armor because I don't like dying is really the answer to it. Let's take a look at the rest of the mastery here. There's some normal looking points. Necrotic damage, great. Vanguard on kill because you're using those vanguards in order to activate the rest of your damage from Hungering Souls. So I'm on board with that. Reduced health regeneration, sure, I like it. The 8 points into this, love that as well. You have all the crit multi here. We have all the flat damage from necrotic energy. This is great. I would recommend using Elixir of Death. Elixir of Death looks like it's scary because it drains your current health. But consider, if you're locking your health to 33% of your maximum health when you're using Death Seal, you're actually draining very little health. And the result is that you get 50% less physical damage taken, 50% less necrotic damage taken. The physical is very, very relevant. The necrotic is still quite relevant. This is a really, really good source of DR if you're looking to push the hardest content of the game. 500, 800 waves in the arena, 1,000 corruption. This is something that only scales up better and better as you're pushing harder content. Rest of this, poison chance, spell damage stuff. Yeah, that all looks fine. So that about does it. Just like the one skill swap to Death Seal. Death Seal is OP. The volatile zombie stuff, we have a brand new affix that you can put on belts. You have no cleanse on your belt, which is cute because oftentimes you don't want cleanse on your belt when you're using a marina because you want us to have stacks of dam on yourself so that your death wave does more damage because you're using it. In any case, there's another affix that you can use on your belt these days, and that's an experimental affix. So grab that real quick. Minion health regen. Manga Mega. Let's go zombie like this. So if we did this, we could have 4 or 3, I guess. 3 volatile zombies summoned on potion use. Those volatile zombies, when they explode, they would create this, the Vanguard stuff here. And that'd be fine. I wouldn't mind that. You have, let's see, you have Bone Curse here. What do we care about for Bone Curse? We might actually care about Bone Curse applying chill for us, because chill is a really good thing to have on every single build in Last Epoch. And the fact that you're using a unique with no LP means that you actually don't have any chill in your build. Using 1 point over here could be something that you're interested in order to get more chill chance. Yeah, we can talk about a couple other things. In Reaper form, I like to have Transplant and what's this thing called? Reap as like double movement skills, but you only have 1 movement skill, so that's fine. We don't need these 2 nodes here. Somebody in Twitch chat, Arborist, who plays a ton of Lich in the past, called out the int stacking stuff here. This particular character only has 46 intelligence, but these nodes are strong. There's a flat armor per point of intelligence. Remember, getting flat armor from this per point of intelligence, you stack intelligence, you get other stuff, and then you also get flat armor from this, means that getting like 1 big % armor roll on like your helmet or on your body armor, like we talked about for suffixes, you have a lot of flat. It's nice to get a percentage roll on top of that to augment those. I think that about does it. Kill threshold. The kill threshold nodes are not very important for Hungering Souls, because especially if you put Volatile Zombie on your belt, you already have a 16. If we spec into it. Fear duration. Get this fear duration out of here. We have a 16% kill threshold, which is 1% better than what you previously had. And it frees up 3 points. Damage over time stuff. Chance of extra projectiles. This is +2 mana cost. I guess it frees up 1 point here, because we're still pathing through that, because we don't want the plus mana cost. I guess chance of extra projectiles, you can go like 1-2 instead of 1-2. It's fine. Damage over time stuff. -8 mana cost, cone, cast speed. Flat damage on hits. What's this node down here? When you directly cast Hungering Souls, you have a chance to make a cast twice in succession. This is a possibility down here. This double cast chance is actually 8% more damage, because it's an 8% chance to double your damage. It's basically 8% more damage. That's like 1, 2, 3. It's a possibility for grabbing some extra nodes here. Spell damage per mana, extra projectiles, no. Damage per minion, no. So those are some thoughts for you. I think that about covers it. I guess go. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to inundate this person with information. But I will say this: it's got wandering spirits and hungering souls. This item's fine for leveling. I suspect that this is why you have wandering spirits in your build at all. But in Last Epoch, the TLDR of how to build crit on a character is step 1, you get as much flat crit as possible in every single place, and then you build percent increase crit to kind of fill in the gaps. I don't think there's any crit here, is there? Yeah, there's actually no flat crit on Hungering Souls unless you're doing the one big noggin down to the bottom right. So because you only have the base 5 crit and you're not getting any flat crit from anywhere else, it's really not possible to play a crit build while using an offhand that looks like this. What you'd greatly, greatly prefer to do is use a Crystal Skull, preferably a Crystal Skull that has a 6 instead of a 4 or 5 for the flat spell critical strike chance roll. So your base spell, your base crit chance in everything in the game is 5, and this would bring it up to 11. So it's more than double your flat critical strike chance, and then you just build your percent increase crit in order to cover the rest of your requirements there. So there's a lot of small min-maxing that you could do. Getting your crit multi, getting your spell critical strike chance, getting LP on your marinas. That'd be a sweet thing someday. But without giving There's a saying that I like, and I should really use it more often because every time I hear it, it puts a smile on my face. You ever hear the saying, like, drinking from a fire hose is like, it's just a lot of information. So instead of causing this person to drink from a fire hose, we'll cut it off there, and hopefully that is some good feedback for them to get more damage into their build. Sounds good.